Hello and welcome back to the MMA Bar. Today we're going to discuss the final fight of a UFC legend and future UFC Hall of Famer Frankie Edgar, his career rundown, retirement predictions, and who he'd prefer for his final fight in the UFC. Unless you're a new fan of the sport, it'd be hard not to know the man who sat in the top 5 of the pound-for-pound list for a while. Former UFC Lightweight champion Frankie Edgar is nearing the end of his storied MMA career, and The Answer wants his final fight. Frankie Edgar suffered what could be the most brutal loss of his career at UFC 268 last November. It was a front kick knockout at the hands of Marlon Vera, which, if you're a fan of The Answer, probably left a sting that lasted for a good few days. But even after that devastating defeat, Edgar still refused to entertain retirement. He said days after UFC 268, "I know I've got a lot left to give to this sport in many ways. My spirit doesn't want to be done, that's for sure. I feel I can still do this at a high level. I was doing it at a high level 2 nights ago, and I got caught with a good shot." The tide seemed to have turned the other direction recently. TSN's Aaron Bronstetter recently posted a tweet highlighting a conversation he supposedly had with Edgar's manager Ali Abdelaziz. In the tweet, Aaron Bronstetter revealed that Ali told him that the former lightweight champion has requested to fight for a final time at UFC 281 at Madison Square Garden and will face whoever the promotion puts in front of him. Aaron Bronstetter tweeted, "Just spoke with Ali Abdelaziz, who says that Frankie Edgar has requested to fight for a final time at UFC 281 at Madison Square Garden and will face whoever the promotion puts in front of him." Given the 2 devastating knockout losses he suffered at the hands of Corey Sandhagen and Marlon Vera in 2021, it was perhaps expected that this announcement would come soon enough. And after his manager Ali Abdelaziz previously suggested that he would make his last appearance later this year at Madison Square Garden, The Answer has confirmed that plan himself. With the promotion reportedly targeting his return to the New York-based arena for UFC 281 in November, Edgar is hoping to bid farewell to MMA inside the prestigious surroundings of MSG. While it appears that he won't be picky about his final foe, as has always been the case throughout his illustrious career, Edgar does have a name in mind this time. Frankie Edgar has stated that he intends to retire after making one final appearance in the UFC this year. Edgar told ESPN he has asked the UFC to book him one more bantamweight fight in November on an event expected to take place at Madison Square Garden. Win or lose, the former lightweight champion will call it a career after that. He told ESPN, "I've been kicking the idea of retirement around since my last fight. The last 2 fights obviously didn't go the way I wanted them to. If I'm being honest, I would fight forever, but that's kind of selfish to my family and the people that care about me. I need to announce my retirement so I can have a retirement fight and sail off into the sunset. I enjoy this life. It's not work for me, so it's going to be tough to walk away. I'll always be in the sport regardless." When asked for the perfect opponent to finish his career, Edgar suggested former UFC and WEC bantamweight champion Dominick Cruz. The 40-year-old identified Dominick Cruz as his ideal opponent. During Edgar's reign as the lightweight champion, which spanned from April 2010 to February 2012, Cruz was the king of the bantamweight division. When asked about the fight, Edgar said, "Honestly, I'm never one to call anybody out or pick anybody. I usually let the UFC and Ali figure that out. I'll say a name just because I think it's more of a legacy fight. I know he has a fight coming up and everything, and who knows how it can happen if it goes down, but I think Dominick Cruz. He was a champion at 135 when I was a champion at 155, still both pretty much the top of the division. I think that would be an interesting fight. But again, he's got a fight coming up against Cheeto, so we'll see what happens." Cruz is scheduled to fight Cheeto Marlon Vera on August 13th, so a fall date with Edgar will be tricky to pull off. Having returned to the win column in 2021 for the first time since 2016, with back-to-back victories over Casey Kenny and Pedro Munoz, former 2-time title holder Cruz is looking to mount another run at the gold. Cruz has the chance to move closer to the belt when he shares the octagon with number 5 ranked bantamweight Vera on August 13th. While a win would perhaps put him out of Edgar's reach, a victory for Cheeto could perhaps lead to Cruz being willing to fight down the rankings against fellow legend Edgar. Over the last few decades, we haven't seen many fighters as universally beloved as Frankie Edgar. The 40-year-old is a former UFC Lightweight champion, he's fought the best of the best, and he's perhaps one of the nicest guys in the entire sport. MMA has benefited greatly from his presence, but after his recent run of form, it seemed inevitable that he'd eventually opt to hang up the gloves. Edgar is on a 2-fight losing streak and has 5 losses in his last 7, having been knocked out in 4 of them. He expressed after his last fight, a 3rd-round front kick knockout loss to Marlon Vera, that it was the first time his immediate thoughts weren't about getting back into the gym, and that now he has to think about what his career is and what his life will become. He made his professional debut in 2005 and didn't suffer a single knockout loss until 2018. Over the past 5 years, however, he has been finished 4 times. During his time in the promotion, the former lightweight champion has competed in 3 different weight divisions. Frankie Edgar was the UFC Lightweight champion from 2010 to 2011, and he defended his belt 3 times. He has wins over elite competition such as Charles Oliveira, BJ Penn, and Yair Rodriguez. His most recent was a split decision win over Pedro Munoz in August of 2020. He captured the UFC's lightweight championship in 2010 by upsetting BJ Penn. He went on to defend the belt against Gray Maynard before losing very close back-to-back fights against Benson Henderson. He went on to top the featherweight and unsuccessfully challenged for the belt twice against the great Jose Aldo. He dropped another weight class to bantamweight in 2020, where he is 1-2 since. Speaking on Edgar's upcoming final fight in the UFC, former UFC referee John McCarthy thinks that the UFC veteran should have a say in the choice of opponent and venue for his last fight in MMA's premier promotion. During the latest episode of the Weighing In podcast, the former UFC referee said that Edgar vs. Cruz would be a fantastic fight to be in Madison Square Garden. Look, Frankie Edgar, I'm not saying the UFC owes him anything, they owe him. This guy has been there for them. Frankie Edgar should be able to write his own ticket on who he fights, where he fights, and when he fights. He has been the man. He is the man. I will miss him, but absolutely he should be able to get that fight. If Edgar's next fight is indeed his last, it might be a good decision, as the MMA veteran is likely past his prime and should not take any more physical damage in competition. Frankie is still more talented enough to mix it up with some of the best fighters in the world in his weight class, but after taking that kind of damage, it makes sense why he'd want to think about retiring. Fans have rallied for his retirement and eventual Hall of Fame induction for some time now, hoping that the legend will hang it up and take no more damage. It seems that the time is near for him, and we wait to find out whether or not his request shall come to fruition. While it's unclear what weight class Edgar plans to compete in for his last professional mixed martial arts bout, he is willing to face any and all. That said, who would you like to see one of the all-time greats face in his farewell fight? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell.